5 of America's 10 best sellers. Get 0.9 financing or up to $2,000 cash back on Ford F-150 with a Triton V8 and the most payload in its class. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives could save you even more money on America's best-selling truck. Your Northwest Ford stores, leading the way.
A Beauty Queen's Battle and Laura Flynn Boyle next ET.
The pressure's on. Americans tell Washington, get this economy moving, as a computer mega merger puts thousands more out of work. Fear at the shore after the latest shark attacks. Is a federal pro-shark policy to blame? The battle against western wildfires. Weary troops get some help from the weather. And Eye on America. A new plan to stop the influx of illegal Mexican laborers. Why critics say it won't work.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. You know the feeling. Vacation's over and suddenly there's a whole lot less money in the bank. That is what Congress and the President are dealing with as they get back to work. The surplus has been eaten away by tax rebates and by a sluggish economy that has corporations cutting jobs by the thousands. And the pressure is on to turn it around. In a CBS News poll out tonight, the number of Americans who think the economy is good has plummeted from 84% in January to 56% now. And since June, approval of President Bush's handling of the economy has fallen from 50% to 43%. CBS's Bill Plant at the White House begins tonight's coverage of our economy.
The President and Congress have returned to Washington to face a new political reality. The sluggish economy has overshadowed everything else on the fall agenda. Mr. Bush was asked today when he thought things might improve.
I hope soon, but I'm not a forecaster, and evidently there are not many good forecasters around.
The economy has shot to the top of the nation's concerns, according to the CBS News poll. It's number one on the list of things Americans want the President and Congress to do something about: passing education and Social Security. Almost half the people in our survey believe the economy is getting worse, the most negative view of where things are headed since 1992. And while the public believes that the President and Congress will work together to find compromises, when it comes to the major issues of Social Security, the economy, spending, and balancing the budget, more people favor the Democrats' proposals than the President's. The President is well aware that his father appeared clueless as an economic slowdown pinched voters during the 1992 election. He has launched a campaign to demonstrate that he knows there's a problem and to convince voters that his tax cut is the solution.
We took action. This economy started slowing down 12 months ago. And this administration saw a problem, and we worked with our friends and allies on the Hill, and we addressed it.
The slowing economy wipes out most of the budget surplus and guarantees a showdown with Democrats over spending. The Senate Majority Leader politely suggested that was the President's problem.
This was the President's budget. It was passed. This is the President's tax cut. It was passed. It ought to be the President's solution.
But the President wants more money for defense. The Democrats want more money for education. That practically guarantees a busted budget. And each side is waiting to see who blinks first. Dan?
Bill Plant at the White House. A new report indicating the slowdown in manufacturing may have bottomed out sent blue-chip stocks sharply higher early today, but they later fell back, the Dow closing with a gain of just 47 points. The Nasdaq closed down 34. That was in part a vote of no confidence in the proposed merger of computer giants Hewlett-Packard and Compaq. CBS's Anthony Mason has the possible impact of this high-tech wedding on the Market Watch.
For the battered computer industry, it's a blockbuster deal.
The name of the new company will be Hewlett-Packard.
The merger of tech titans Hewlett-Packard and Compaq creates the world's largest supplier of personal computers and printing hardware, with nearly $90 billion in combined revenue, but slumping sales.
This deal makes sense, frankly, in good times or in bad.
And for Hewlett-Packard's chairwoman, Carly Fiorina, and the entire computer industry, lately, it's been very bad.
In computers, we've really gone from the best of times in '99 and 2000 to literally the worst of times.
In the spring quarter, computer shipments actually fell for the first time in 15 years, the fallout from the dot-com disaster as corporations slashed their technology spending.
The PC market continues to be very cutthroat, very razor-thin margins. It's really hard to make a profitable business out of it.
Both companies have struggled in the slowdown. Compaq lost $279 million in the most recent quarter, while Hewlett-Packard's profits plunged nearly 90%.
What those tough times are illustrating clearly is that there is an opportunity to get more cost-effective and efficient.
Between them, the two companies have already announced more than 17,000 job cuts this year. The merger, they said, will mean another 15,000 jobs will be eliminated. But Computer World editor Mary Fran Johnson says a leaner company may not be meaner.
And when you have two struggling companies that merge, whether they can actually merge and create a stronger company is the real question. And historically in the computer industry, that has not been the way it works out.
A fear Wall Street expressed today as it sent Hewlett-Packard stock into an 18% nosedive, the worst one-day sell-off for the company since 1987. In this economy, the stock market is saying merger does not mean recovery. Dan?
Anthony Mason, thanks. There is another story tonight with economic and political implications. A Republican veteran of the budget battles in Congress, Senator Phil Gramm of Texas, announced he will not run for a fourth term. Gramm, who's 59, said he'd accomplished his goals, including tax and spending cuts. Democrats suggested another factor. Gramm lost his banking committee chairmanship when Democrats took Senate control in June. Former U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno officially opened a campaign account today in her home state of Florida. She said she will seek the Democratic nomination for governor in a bid to unseat Republican Jeb Bush. Florida is ground zero for most of the reported shark attacks in U.S. waters. But in the last 3 days, there were two rare and deadly attacks just over 100 miles apart in waters off Virginia and North Carolina. The latest attack on a couple swimming in North Carolina killed a 28-year-old man and left his girlfriend in critical condition. CBS's Mark Strassman is on the scene.
Along North Carolina's Outer Banks, beachgoers stayed out of the water, either terrified by coincidence, two deadly shark attacks in one weekend, or by their own shark memories here from yesterday.
He had said to me, help me, I can't make it, I can't swim. I grabbed him around the chest and I said, you're going to make it, let's go.
Haunting Allison McConnell are yesterday's awful sounds. She remembers running for towels as her mother dialed 911.
It was the blood-curdling screams.
Kenny Bright, the first paramedic to arrive, was already too late.
I wasn't prepared for it at all. I had a little teeny first aid kit and it was useless.
The couple had been swimming in shallow water. A shark tore into them both. Today, the man's autopsy confirmed everyone's suspicion.
Massive loss of blood due to multiple shark bites.
From his girlfriend, 23-year-old Natalia Slovenskaya, the shark took a foot, fingers, still more flesh, and lots of blood. She remains in critical condition.
She just has a large dished-out area on her hip and buttocks that's probably 12 inches in diameter with bite marks around that.
Air patrols today tried reassuring the skittish, looking below for sharks between Ocracoke, North Carolina, near the scene of yesterday's deadly attack, and Cape Henry, Virginia, near Saturday's disaster. David Peltier was surfing in 4 feet of water. A shark attacked. The 10-year-old bled to death. From Virginia to North Carolina, today's talk is of sharks and sudden terror in the water.
Today's air patrols here spotted 2 schools of sharks, roughly 17 sharks in all, far enough from shore to keep these beaches open, close enough to shore to keep shark anxiety high. Dan?
Mark Strassman in Avon, North Carolina. Going strictly by the numbers, there were 53 shark attacks in U.S. waters last year. Experts say this year's attacks rate is running below that. This raises the possibility that shark attack stories are being overplayed by news organizations. But on the other hand, there are other aspects to keep in mind. CBS's Bobby Harley puts this in perspective for you.
For years, the federal government has believed the shark population is in trouble. That's why it imposed regulations restricting fishing along the Atlantic seaboard. The shark catch is now down 50%, but some worry that's causing other problems.
There are likely more shark attacks because there are more sharks in the water because of deep reductions in the amount of commercial and recreational fishing.
It's still not clear if the government program is working, but what has increased this season is the public's perception of what may be lurking in the water.
Most of my friends don't go to the water now because they're afraid of sharks.
It's no wonder with images like these. A shark pack hundreds strong in the waters north of Tampa. Near Pensacola, a shark ripping the arm off a little boy. In the Bahamas, an American man losing his leg. In just 1 week at New Smyrna Beach, Florida, sharks taking bites out of 10 swimmers.
The reality is, from an international and a national perspective, we're going to fall well short of last year's figures.
Yet this is the summer of shark frenzy. An ad campaign by the animal rights group PETA, which blamed the bites on revenge, was pulled after the weekend's deadly attacks. But shark experts do blame people, in part because there are more swimmers than ever in the ocean. Here in Florida, where almost half of all the shark attacks worldwide last year took place, there's even more of a risk.
A series of regulations have been put in place in the state of Florida since 1992 that basically create shark sanctuaries in state waters. Those happen to be the waters that are closest to where the people recreate.
And that remains the ultimate dilemma, how to protect sharks while protecting people. Bobby Harley, CBS News, Miami.
In the American West, the big worry isn't the sharks, but the sparks of summer wildfires. 18 large fires are now burning in 7 states. That's an improvement overall, but small consolation in Montana, where it's still an uphill struggle. CBS's Vince Gonzalez is there in the thick of it.
Firefighters were back battling the nation's biggest blaze today near Montana's Glacier National Park, putting out hot spots and building new fire breaks. A shift in the weather blanketed the mountains in thick smoke, but kept flames low, unlike yesterday, when high winds caused the blaze to mushroom to almost 60,000 acres, forcing fire crews to retreat.
Big, giant, nuclear-looking column.
Look like a bomb?
Yeah, just ripping right through here.
Crews still managed to save the tiny mountain community of Home Ranch, dousing some houses and businesses with fire-retardant foam.
The view we had before was of a forest down here. And then
Tom Sluter lost his home in another big fire here in 1988, and he's keeping a wary eye on the growing smoke cloud this time.
It concerns me as I've seen it come over that ridge. It's moving closer, so we're just, doing a rain dance and hoping we're going to have some moisture.
With all the circumstances against us, it's just really tough to try to get a handle on it.
Despite this fire and many others scorching the west, officials say last year twice as many acres burned. But this has been a much deadlier year. All told, 10 people have died battling wildfires this summer. 3 died in a helicopter crash in Montana over the weekend, and Monday a firefighter was killed by a falling tree. Some local residents are furious with the federal government, charging it should have attacked this fire much sooner.
I really firmly believe that when the lightning hit weeks ago, they could put it out real easy.
This afternoon, as the smoke began to clear, water-dropping helicopters were able to battle the flames, but officials say what they really need is a good rain or even some snow, neither of which are in the forecast for the next week or so. Dan?
Vince Gonzalez in Columbia Falls, Montana. Next here on the CBS Evening News, Eye on America. If illegal immigrants from Mexico can't be stopped, why not treat them as guests?
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by fast-acting Mylanta Supreme. Tastes great as it works.
Time to relax. What a time for bad heartburn. Try Extra Strength Mylanta. It works on tough nighttime heartburn fast. So go ahead, relax, if you can. Extra Strength Mylanta.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cock your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that together, come back and see me. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
When I started having hot flashes and night sweats at menopause, my doctor recommended hormone replacement therapy, but I didn't listen.
Up to 20% of a woman's expected lifetime bone loss occurs in the years following menopause.
A year later, I went back to my doctor and found I'd shrunk an inch. I went on HRT, and I've been on it for years. My hot flashes and night sweats, gone. I feel great.
HRT is not for all women. Talk to your doctor about the benefits and risks.
The time to protect your future is now.
In the old days, athlete's foot meant using Lotrimin AF or Tenactin for 4 whole weeks.
Who does that? Today, they're out. Because Lamisil AT changed everything. Lamisil AT kills the fungus with just 1 week's use.
Do you really have 4 weeks to use those other guys?
When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free for 3 months. Those old-timers, they don't promise that.
It's in a league all its own.
Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
What are you doing?
Laundry.
Laundry?
But I'm glad you're up. I've been waiting to vacuum. Breakfast. I'll pick up your tray when I get back from the market.
But it's Sunday. Aren't you going to lay around and watch football all day?
Not if I'm going to finish that roast in time for dinner.
Somebody had their Minute Maid this morning. It only takes a minute, but the feeling lasts all day.
Honey, what's the setting for chiffon?
The pain was awful. I was missing my own party. The pain got so bad I wanted to lie down, but it just got worse. Then I rediscovered a real lifesaver, Extra Strength Bayer Aspirin. Nothing's proven stronger than Extra Strength Bayer on tough pain, not even the leading prescription. It's real relief I can depend on. And my doctor said original strength aspirin can help save your life by protecting your heart. Beautiful.
Bayer. Take it for pain, take it for life.
Mexico's President Vicente Fox is flying to Washington tonight for an official state visit beginning tomorrow morning. He and President Bush will discuss a wide range of issues, but as Bill Whitaker reports in tonight's Eye on America, topic number 1 is illegal immigration and Mexico's controversial plan to try to bring it under control.
Day and night, these Mexican agents scour the Baja Desert trying to do the impossible. Hold back the tide of their countrymen flooding the border, like these 3, dreaming of earning a living wage in the United States. I was washing dishes and making $3.50 a week in my town, he says. I heard you can earn that in an hour in the U.S. They come even though more than 1.5 million were caught and turned back by U.S. border agents last year, even though hundreds die in the desert each year. Migrant grave sites dot the border.
This is where so many of the unidentified migrant dead are buried.
Claudia Smith is a California attorney who works with migrants. Dreams die hard out here, she says.
The message is we're going to make it as hard for you, and you may even lose your life to get through. But once you get through, you'll find a job.
In fact, as many as 300,000 find jobs north of the border each year, on farms, in hotels, in kitchens. With or without documents, you can still make a living in this country, he says. To stop the illegal flow, the Mexican government has come up with a dramatic new plan that says, in essence, if you can't beat us, join us.
Legalize the flow.
UCLA political scientist Raul Hinojosa Ojeda, who advised the Mexican government, says let in 300,000 legal workers a year at minimum wage, and you'll dry up the illegal flow.
Recognize that we need these type of workers in the economy, that they benefit the economy, and make sure that they continue to come in, but with proper documentation.
The Mexican plan also calls for amnesty for workers already here and for economic development in Mexico. The trouble is, it's all been tried before. Guest workers in the 40s, economic development in the 60s, amnesty in the 80s, all to stop the illegal flow. Yet there are 3 million Mexican workers here in the U.S. and more coming every day. By some estimates, half of U.S. agricultural workers are here illegally. And according to Monica Oropeza Rodriguez, who runs a migrant shelter on the Mexican side of the border, plan or no plan, more are on the way.
They may provide 300,000 visas this year, but in 2 months there'll be 200,000 more behind them and another 100,000 behind that group waiting to enter the U.S. illegally.
They will take the chance because the opportunity to earn 8 or 10 times what they would earn in Mexico is worth it. This is not a matter of government-to-government accords. It's a matter of laws of supply and demand.
And until there are enough decent wage jobs in Mexico, which could take decades, few along the border believe this or any plan will stop this desperate passage. In Los Angeles, I'm Bill Whitaker for Eye on America.
An insurance industry study out today recommends ways to improve highway safety for older drivers, especially those over 70. These include larger letters on road signs to make them easier to read, four-way stop signs at more intersections, which reduce crashes about 50%, four-way red lights for a brief period when necessary to allow intersections to clear, plus traffic lights with arrows for left-hand turns. And inside the car, flexible seat belts for seniors to help prevent broken ribs in a crash.
You're looking at amazing pictures of the illegal flow of immigrants into the United States. Has Mexico become the new pipeline for international smuggling? You decide when we show you the unique, ingenious, and inhumane ways to smuggle illegal aliens. An Eye on America investigation tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Only new Cascade scent expressions are heat activated to release a fresh aroma into the air while doing the dishes. It can make your kitchen quite inviting. Scent expressions, new from Cascade.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that together, come back and see me. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
I'm every man.
And every woman who ever suffered from frequent, persistent heartburn.
If you've treated your heartburn and changed your diet, but the pain comes back 2 or more days a week, then you may think you know about acid reflux disease.
But there's something about acid reflux that I didn't know.
Over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't.
Now the makers of Prilosec introduce their new purple pill, Nexium. Just 1 prescription Nexium a day gives many people complete resolution of heartburn symptoms.
That could mean complete heartburn relief.
And Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can determine if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. So talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and for a free trial certificate for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with the new purple pill called Nexium.
9 Lives introduces something completely new. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
New? What's new? I hope she knows.
Look, Morris, it's new 9 Lives gourmet meals.
Pussycat, I love you.
And new 9 Lives shows you do.
Introducing new 9 Lives gourmet meals. More gourmet meat for more gourmet taste.
Pussycat, I love They all love me.
New 9 Lives gourmet meals. More gourmet meat for more gourmet taste.
For cool cats like moi.
Worried about unexpected bills or mounting credit card debt? Log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED and apply for a second mortgage with Ditech's no closing cost option. With a second mortgage, you may be able to consolidate your high interest debts into one low monthly payment. It's smart money from Ditech.com. Apply online or call us at 1-800-71-FIXED right now.
8 foreign aid workers, including 2 American women, went on trial today in Afghanistan. They are accused of preaching Christianity, a major crime under the strict laws imposed by the country's radical Muslim Taliban rulers. For an Afghan citizen, the penalty is death, but it's unclear if that would apply to the aid workers. In Northern Ireland, for a second straight day, a simple walk to school meant running a gauntlet of abuse for dozens of Roman Catholic children. Belfast riot police charged crowds of Protestants to clear the way to a Catholic elementary school. 1 officer was injured by a homemade grenade. About 50 Catholic schoolgirls, some as young as 4, eventually made the walk, flanked by parents and police, as Protestants shouted threats and obscenities. In Jerusalem, a Palestinian suicide bomber wearing a false beard and disguised as an Orthodox Jew blew himself up when police stopped him from entering a Jewish neighborhood. 15 people were injured by the blast. And in South Africa, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict was again at the heart of debate at the United Nations Conference Against Racism. Conference organizers are trying to salvage some kind of agreement in the face of Arab insistence that Israel be branded a racist state. That dispute led to the walkout yesterday of the official U.S. and Israeli delegations. U.S. jet fighters bombed Iraqi anti-aircraft and radar sites again today in both the northern and southern no-fly zones. A U.S. Defense Department spokesman told reporters the jets were responding to ongoing provocations by Iraqi air defenses.
The Heartburn Hotel. If you suffer persistent heartburn 2 days a week or more, despite diet change and treatment, it may be acid reflux disease. Prescription Prevacid can mean 24-hour relief from acid reflux disease. Prevacid turns off tiny pumps that produce acid. It has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Ask your doctor if Prevacid is right for you.
So leave your heartburn behind.
You know, when the toilet bowl overflows over the floor, it's not a nice thing. You could have a lot of trouble with your septic if you don't maintain it. It could also back up on the lawn. It's cheaper to maintain your septic system.
The bacteria and enzymes in Rid-X help prevent septic backups. Use Rid-X once a month.
This weekend, Enterprise Rent-A-Car announces special low rates from just $9.99 a day. Friday till Monday from just $9.99 a day. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
1-800-RENT-A-CAR.
Folgers Decaf. Really good coffee.
Abner, we're rich.
We're rich?
It's our new litter. It's got diamonds in it.
You are mistaken, my friends. The diamonds are odor-absorbing crystals in new Tidy Cats Crystals Blend.
Whatever.
New Tidy Cats Crystals Blend. You are a superhero to someone. So act like one and take a premium vitamin. Mega Men multivitamins, exclusively from General Nutrition Centers, with 39 premium ingredients for men, including things like saw palmetto, ginseng, and natural vitamin E. It's a formula no one else has, so it's more than just a multivitamin. Take care of yourself, superhero. Someone's watching you. GNC. Live well.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. They tell me it actually works to remove cholesterol from your body. Pulls it right out. Help clip my cholesterol 15 points. That's a whole bunch. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. It actually works to remove cholesterol from your body. Sucks it right out. Help lower my cholesterol 10 points. That's even more than I bargained for. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and
Summer continues for some students, a late start to the school year. Why? We'll tell you at 6.
In tonight's evening news endnotes, a new hybrid computer chip should give all sorts of electronic devices a big speed boost. The new Motorola chip is the first to successfully blend common silicon with an exotic alloy that runs 40 times faster. Speed wasn't the issue before a California judge today. It was traffic lights and the cameras San Diego was using to catch drivers running them. The judge threw out all the tickets based on stoplight cameras. And the U.S. Navy has set the record straight. About 49 American sailors lost near the end of World War II. In April 1945, their Eagle-class patrol boat, the PE-56, exploded and sank off Maine. Only 13 crewmen survived. At the time, the Navy blamed a boiler explosion, but now new evidence shows the PE-56 was actually sunk by a German U-boat torpedo. Part of our history, lest we forget, and part of our world tonight. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day.
Summer on the East